What is up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of Live Locks, presented by Scores and Odds. If you haven't checked it out already, you're just making bad life choices. Going over to scoresandodds.com, where you can get picks from me, Meansy, that mustache-less piece of crap over there. And you get access to the nice little prop shopping tool where you can see exactly where the best lines are for each individual prop, plus what we project for each of them. And most importantly, you get access to Grant's Action Lounges. Go to scoresandodds.com/Discord, dropping in the chat right now, where you get all my picks as soon as I bet them, so you can get it before the line moves. I am joined by a man without a mustache, which most people would say, gross, no mustache. Daniel Chevelson. How you doing there, Daniel?
I'm doing all right. That's exactly what you said to me pre-show. You lectured me like, why did I get rid of my mustache? And I got rid of it actually in your house a few days ago. And you gave me the business then. And you're continuing to give me the business. And I'm surprised you asked me to come on. I figured you need like at least a month away from me, but you've had your fill, and I hit the quota for several months. But I'm happy to be back. Happy to talk some baseball.
Yeah. Well, need to know what not to bet today. So of course I don't have you in my house, so I don't know what not to bet.
Does Docs miss me? Does he still talk about me?
He has not said a word about you. I can safely say that.
All right, well, fair enough. You can see it in his eyes, though. Your dog misses me for sure.
He is a dog.
I'm told he's a puppy.
He is a puppy. He's a good puppy. Good puppy dog. But yeah, we got some bets. I'm absolutely loving this Pittsburgh game.
I like it too. Go ahead. I mean, I think we were talking about a pre-show, and it's going to be popular. You know me. I'm coming from a DFS perspective. That's the first thing I did, and obviously I take my DFS stuff and bring it to gambling as well. But the Phillies are going to be super popular. Of course, we have Bryce Harper coming back as well. Presumably, he's expected to crack the lineup for the first time in a while, obviously. But yeah, talk about Philadelphia.
Yeah, so it's really simple here. Philly and Pittsburgh. I like both of them. The weather is fantastic over there. It's 84 degrees, decent humidity, decent dew point. Wind is blowing out, 25% increase to home runs according to Plate IQ. I have a boatload of bets here. So first off, I've got did I not bet? I thought I bet Hoskins. Apparently I did not bet Hoskins to over 1.5.
That's like your favorite player.
Reese's Pieces. Reese's Pieces is the greatest hitter of all time. But did I not just put it down? Where are you at? I don't see him. Maybe I didn't bet him over 1.5 total bases. Oh, the line. That was it. I went to bet him. The line moved 15 points. And I'm like, okay, no, I'm out. But I do have Rodolfo Castro, plus 520, home run. Cabrian Hayes, plus 680, home run. Kyle Schwarber, plus 230, home run. JT Realmuto, plus 390, home run. And Bryce Harper. This is a boost over at Tipico, if you even have that in your state.
What's Tipico? I was in Colorado. I have no idea what Tipico even is.
It's fine. It's a sports betting website. I have him to get 2+ hits at plus 210. Those are my bets there.
Is that total bases or that's 2 hits?
2 hits.
Gotcha.
Bryce Wilson is not good going up against lefties. He's really bad. Massive amounts of power, massive amounts of just crap. 411 WOBA, 273 ISO, no ground balls, tons of line drives, 53% hard contact rate, 15% K rate. I'm loving it.
Yeah, it's funny. I mean, you can flip the other side as well. And Pittsburgh has been a disaster versus lefties. Look at the active roster. Pittsburgh striking out 24.3% versus lefties. I'm just curious if I can play Falter, if Falter has a playable betting line for strikeouts. What's the number? Like 5.5 or something? I haven't looked.
Luckily, we got this nice little prop shopping tool, so we can check that out. Going over to strikeouts, boom. Falter, best line is 4.5, sitting at minus 143 on the over. That's the best line.
I don't like laying that much juice.
Yeah.
But by the way, his splits are really, it's the sample's not huge on him. Like he's only been up for so long, but if you look at his splits, he's been really, really good against lefties and a disaster versus righties. On the flip, it's like, well, what righties are going to take advantage of it? Like Newman's got no power, obviously. Gamble,
Hayes and Castro.
Yeah, Hayes historically has been good, but like this season's been a disaster too. But Castro in a small sample, 273 ISO is pretty interesting. I like that. What was the number you got on it to hit homer?
Plus 520.
Yeah, that's
and
a pretty
Hayes
big
was
number.
plus 680.
That's, you know what? As much as Hayes has been terrible this year, I will take plus 680. 680 is a really good number on Hayes. I like that.
Well, I mean, is that like he's just been pretty unlucky too. 94 exit velocity, by far the largest on the team going up against lefties. 42% hard contact rate. He's just hitting the ball on the ground so often. So you're going up an extreme fly ball pitcher and Falter going up against righties, 49.5%. It's beautiful. Like, it's a perfect spot for him. He can absolutely get it done here. So that's kind of why I'm on. I know he has not been great. I know he's realistically not a huge guy for power this year or last year, but it's just such a good line. The hitting conditions are great, and you're going up against a guy that's going to get the ball in the air. He just has to hit it hard in the air once, and it's going to leave the ballpark.
30% fly balls this year, not high enough, obviously. But yeah, you just get one and you're good to go in theory. Hey, is he a turd bomb today? That's got to be a turd bomb at plus 680, right?
No, it's actually Castro is at plus 520.
Okay, fair enough.
Castro, Schwarber, just because. I mean, look at these numbers. Like I said, Bryce Wilson, 53% hard contact, 273 ISO. Schwarber, like the main thing with Wilson is he doesn't give up a ton of fly balls. He's right around league average going up against lefties. Doesn't strike out lefties at all. Doesn't walk people at all. So his ball's going to be put in play. But 53% hard contact. So I want to get a fly ball hitter. And Schwarber is a massive fly ball hitter. 50.3% going up against righties. Like the hard contact's there. He's going to put the ball up in the air, which is all you need when going up against Wilson.
Yeah, I don't know if you watched him yesterday. He kind of rope-a-dope the pitcher for what was done for Cincinnati. Like he didn't even swing in his first at bat. He just looked like 7 pitches, and then his second at bat, he had like a 500-foot homer in dead center. It was crazy. I don't know. It looked like it went like 480 or something, like well into the bushes there, into the batter's eye. Just absolutely annihilated one. And like we mentioned this pre-show, I just hate the number you got to lay. I mean, was it 230? I get it though. Like if you're gonna ask me that, if we're gonna have a draft, like who's most likely to hit a home run today, and odds don't mean anything. It's probably Schwarber is like the 1-1. I think he's the number 1 pick of the day. And if not him, maybe Harper. But I hear you. I get it. So for sure, I'm not gonna say. By the way, I think I'm not making a correlation or anything, but you had a bit of a rut there with the turn bombs. You've kind of turned it around the last couple of days. Is there a correlation that like now that maybe I was a mush is what I'm saying. I left your house and all of a sudden the turn bombs came back. So you're welcome.
Yeah, you were definitely mush. Yeah, no, I went on. I mean, it's just kind of how these home run things happen. Like I have 2 weeks where I've lost 30 units and then 15 units each of those weeks. And the rest of the weeks I'm up 36 units. So it's literally just been 2 bad weeks, which happened.
Yeah.
And like just because I was forced to make bets during that, there wasn't anything I really loved. And realistically, what happened is it was like bad spots with good pitchers or good spots with bad spots with good pitchers. No, good spots with bad pitchers. Good spots with good pitchers, bad spots with bad pitchers, pretty much all week long. And I'm like, well, I'm forced to make these bets. And so, wasn't.
And it's cooling off a little bit too, which isn't, ideal. It's not like 100 like it's been like a month or 2 ago, whatever it was.
Well, that's literally why, like yesterday, all my bets were in the St. Louis game.
Yeah.
Today, all my bets are in the Philly game because I'm searching for games with good weather. And some days they're just not good weather.
Yeah. By the way, one weather, whatever thing to keep an eye on for, I guess in general, Boston is orange tonight, according to Kevin Roth. I'm not sure if you saw that or how much you care for that, but just figure throughout the people, keep an eye on that going forward. And, Kevin Roth will give an update, of course, on Roto Grinders. And let's give a plug to Crunch Time. Why not let the people know about Crunch Time? He'll be jumping on there at 6:30, 6:25 on the East Coast. Let you know what's going on weather-wise there and everywhere else if something else pops up. Grant, weather is fluid.
Weather has fluids in it. Yes, that's correct.
Well, sometimes, yes. Literal fluids, and fluid in the term that, in the meaning that like it can change. It's always,
Yes, it can. Next one, Jonah Heim. Don't love this one, but plus 480 to hit home run. in a pretty decent. The guy has some pop. Alexander's not a great pitcher. Hyman's better from the right side of the plate than the left side of the plate. 272 ISO this season. So, yeah, I mean, Alexander gives a lot of fly balls, a lot of hard contact. Doesn't strike guys out from the right side of the plate.
Yeah, I'm good with that. I have no issue. I have a homer pick I want to throw at you. You ready for it?
Yeah.
I'm trying to find the odds here on the fly, and I have the scores and odds up thing, and for some reason, maybe I'm not spelling his name correctly. Mancini. We got a Mancini revenge game. I'm sure
plus 450.
Yeah, I think that's pretty solid. Like it's yesterday, he hit a homer versus a reverse splits pitcher. You know, and everybody knows about the story about how Baltimore has buried their righty power and how he had 10 home runs this season basically, and if he was in Houston for every single game, it would have been 22. That's one of the best places in the world to have to righty power. Crawford boxes are pretty short; they're a little bit high as far as a distance away. It's not far down the right field line. Yesterday's homer would have been out of 24 ballparks, not Baltimore. It was out of Houston, and today, and it's also, I believe, a first blood revenge game. If that does anything for you. But he's facing Kyle Bradish, who, guess what? Another righty reverse splits guy.
Massive power to righties.
I really like Mancini today. In 202 at bats this year, at 247 ISO is too high. The fly balls aren't dramatic. They're not 38%, but I think Mancini is plus 450, Grant. I think that's a pretty solid number.
Yeah, I don't hate that. I also don't mind Bregman. What's Bregman and Altuve? Let's see what their odds are. Bregman.
Yeah.
450.
I like Bregman. Yeah.
Altuve 400. I don't mind any of those odds. Like they're all pretty solid there. Next bet, Chris Bubich over 3.5 strikeouts going up against San Diego. What do you think about that?
I have not thought about Chris Bubich, to be honest. So now on the fly, that doesn't seem like a big number. Is my first thought. You said 3.5.
Yeah, he's hit that 9 out of his last 10 games. He's an extreme reverse splits guy. 20% K rate to righties, while only 10.9% to lefties. Likely going to be facing 8 to 9 lefties or 8 to 9 righties in there. Soto might not be in the lineup today, so it's just a spot. And he's hit it 9 out of his last 10 games. Like he's been a lot better. Start off the season just absolutely atrocious. I really, really, really like this bet. Minus 110 is just far too low of odds when you consider that. Again, he's hit it 9 out of his last 10. Yes, San Diego knows how to work the count, but they do have a few high strikeout bats in there, and he is extreme reverse splits. I love this bet.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where you don't wake up in the morning, you're saying, man, I want to pick on the Padres or Chris Bubich, but you always have to be willing to bet something. If they make the number low enough, you have to get interested. And I think that number is pretty low. I mean, definitely it's pretty low. It is a really contact heavy lineup for San Diego. If Soto gets in there, especially Soto 17% strikeouts versus lefties the last 2 seasons. Machado 14, Bell at 13, Kim at 14, Profar at 13. There are some Ks. If Alfaro cracks the lineup, you want Myers there, you want Drury in there as well. But it would be a big boost. And Soto was a late scratch, right? He had a back. And, who knows how serious that may or may not be. He was late scratch the other day. But it would definitely be a boost to Bubik, who would jump in his stead. I'm trying to think who would be off the dome. Who would that be that would jump in there instead of Soto? But it would be a less hitter, of course, and more likely a guy that strikes out more often.
Yep. Moving on. Stanton plus 380 to home run. If he's back in the lineup, that's a boost over at Tipico. Not going to get in that too much. It's just boosted and way higher than any other line. Bassett over 5.5 strikeouts going up against the Rockies. Rockies playing away from Coors. They may only be a 20.9% K rate lineup going up against righties so far this season in the projected lineup, but they are playing away from Coors. Coors gives a drastic decrease to the amount of strikeouts. So Bassett over 5.5 plus or minus 125 over at Wynn. I think that's pretty solid.
I like that. And the important thing with Bassett is that, he's not the greatest strikeout pitcher in the world. He's fine. He's not elite, obviously, but he is an innings eater. He's an outs getter. He's a guy that can go 7-ish, depending on last 4 weeks. He's throwing 102.3 baseballs per start. That is 7th in all of baseball. And for the entire season, just pulled this up on the fly. For the entire season, he's 5th in all of baseball at 91.5. Like basically few people have a longer leash than Chris Bassett. Inexplicably, 97-year-old Adam Wainwright is third in baseball with throwing almost 100 pitches per game. Of course, the Marlins, Sandy Alcantara, who's got 3 complete games this year, is number 1. But yeah, that's I like that. And of course, the Rockies are one of the worst teams in baseball away from Coors. They're just bad in general. Obviously, the ballpark downgrade is about as bad as it gets, right? Going from Colorado to Citi Field. So, I wonder, what is his outs? What is his outs number? Is it like 18.5 or 19.5? Can you pull it up on the fly by chance? So I feel like, yeah, I mean, that's always a tricky one for me to find. I don't know if we have a search for that.
19.5 minus 120 on the over. That's probably about right.
Yeah, that's probably about right. Yeah. I mean,
speaking of outs, Logan Gilbert's getting 6 innings, and Justin Steele is not getting 6 innings. I have the over on Gilbert, 17.5 outs at minus 152, and the under on Steele, minus 135. Both over at Caesars. Both solid odds, both drastically worse or drastically better than other sites. Gilbert going up against Cleveland. Big thing that he does is he gives up a lot of power. Really not a ton of power in this lineup. They don't strike out a ton. They put the ball in play a lot, so he should be able to cruise through things. While he has been getting beat up a decent amount recently, doesn't matter to me too much considering 2 of those outings were against Houston, 2 of them were against the Yankees, so it's been tough outings. And again, those are teams where you don't want to have a lot of power given up. So, I like the over on that. And then Steele, he's been cruising recently, but he's had a lot of easy outings. Milwaukee, while not a very good hitting team versus lefties, this number is just a bit too high in my opinion.
Yeah, I have no problems with that. That's fine. I don't have a hot take on it, but sure, go for it.
All right, and then there's an interesting one. So FanDuel has drastically different odds on this than any other website, which is kind of why I'm betting it. 2+ hits for Swanson plus 220, 2+ hits for Riley plus 230, 2+ hits for Acuna plus 260. They're obviously on the away team, so they're going to get those 9 innings of at-bats. Going up against Quintana, who has been surprisingly lucky today.
He's been good.
The big thing is he just does – huh?
He's been pretty good. You don't necessarily want to pick on him, but it's because the odds are just too good.
Yeah, but I mean, the main thing is he just doesn't give up home runs. Like, he'll give up hits. He has a 306 BABIP. Gives up a lot of hard contact. Like, he puts the ball on the ground a lot and gives up a ton of line drives. So while I don't think he gets just hammered here, 2+ hits, getting these odds pretty much all over the place, especially Riley, who just has mashed lefties throughout the entire season, 481 WOBA. But Acuna is still sitting pretty good at 363, Swanson at 372. Quintana really doesn't walk righties at all. And so, like, most of the other places, all these lines are synthetic 0 juice lines. Like, looking at DraftKings, 2+ hits. Let's see, looking at them, I think all the lines are pretty much the same on the opposite side. So essentially, one of these are off, and I'm pretty sure that it is FanDuel that's off. Yeah, Swanson sitting at minus 225, Acuna sitting at minus 285. So it's gone up a little bit. But yeah,
hit 2 of those, you're good to go.
Hit one of them, and I'm still good.
Is it one of them? You got 3?
I'm profitable. 2 of them, I have 3 of them. Yeah, Swanson, Riley, Acuna.
Yeah. I don't mind that. I'm good with that. Good team. Really, one of the best offenses in baseball. The ballpark is a downgrade, obviously, in St. Louis, but being on the road helps too. And a decent shot, depending how things are going, and getting that 5th at bat for Acuna leading off, and then down the line as well. It progressively gets less, but yeah, no issues with that. The lines are good, and that's that.
Yeah. And last one, Josh Naylor, under 0.5 hits, plus 205 over at Superbook. It's just a good line. Like, Gilbert's a good pitcher. Naylor, not a bad batter, does have the platoon split. But a lot of his stuff comes from power. Doesn't walk a lot, but Gilbert gives up a decent amount of walks. It's just a bad line.
No Devers tonight, by the way. That Boston lineup just came out, for what it's worth. By the way, Jesus Aguilar was just DFA'd for the Marlins.
Wow.
What's up?
Wild.
I mean, I don't know if he's a free agent or not going forward, but the Marlins team they're going nowhere. They're a disaster. It's been a bad year for Aguilar. he's got his power, and that's basically it. And the power hasn't really been there this year, and obviously he's stuck in a bad ballpark for power too. But yeah, I like Aguilar. He's I watched a lot of games where they mic him up, and he's just a lot of fun on the field. Like he's having a blast out there. I hope he gets somewhere because he's fun to have in the game.
Yeah. No, he was on a 1-year contract, so yeah, makes sense. They're not going anywhere. They're like, well, we're not going to give you playing time. We'll just DFA you, let you go to a contender, help them out. Plus, do they get compensation if someone picks them up?
I don't know. I'm not savvy enough to know that, but I don't think so. I don't think that's how. I don't. I think if you get compensated if like a big free agent leaves in the offseason, I think you get compensation for that. But I don't believe you get compensation for like a DFA player get picked up. But
I'm trying to think of where he could help out. I mean, obviously, as a DH, Rays I think would be a good fit for him. Blue Jays probably don't need him. Orioles.
Blue Jays needs lefty power.
Yeah, don't need him. Mariners already have France and Santana. Astros. Honestly, Astros probably could use him. Great spot for right-handed power.
Crawford boxes.
Yeah, and on top of that, I mean.
But they already have a log jam, and the problem with the Astros, we've talked about this before, is they got Mancini, who's awesome. But like with Alvarez, and I guess you could play Alvarez in the outfield, and they've done that on occasion, but they don't know where to put guys, right? They don't really. Who's their center fielder? Is it because they lost Brantley? Is it like DeBone is I think they have Tucker and Wright, but who is like McCormick? Who plays their center field typically? Like they don't have a good one, I don't think. But yeah, I don't know what they would do with another. I guess just use him as a DH off the bench and that kind of thing, or a pinch hitter, I suppose. But they just have, it's kind of a weird way that Houston team works to fit defensively as well. But by the way, congratulations to your Mariners and you because you got J-Rod for the next 19 years or whatever it is.
14 years. Oh gosh, it's absolutely beautiful.
That's great. Good for him and good.
It's great that they made the contract how it was, like how it should be. $200 million guaranteed for 14 years. So what? That's $12 million a year. With potential
arbitration years.
Yeah, potential for $400 million. So there's actually incentives, which kind of how it should be for a lot of baseball players.
Yeah, like I was talking with somebody the other day. I guess it wasn't you, but the Braves about how they've locked up all their players. Maybe it was you.
Yeah.
But yeah, like Acuna, they have an awesome deal for him, and Albies, they have an awesome 7 years, $35 million for Albies is just awesome, team friendly. It's not great for the player necessarily, but the money's guaranteed. And now Acuna's like 8 years, $100 million, which is again, everything's relative. That's spectacular for the team.
Yeah, but you got any other bets or?
I mean, I just think and this is like such a chalky thing, but I just think the Phillies are gonna I like the idea of betting the Phillies on alt lines. Just running it up. They're going to run it up against Pittsburgh, and I think they win like 9-2 or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. That's not a terrible idea.
If you like, betting team totals, and if you like just positive ballpark, obviously, I presume Real Muto will be back in that lineup. I presume Baum will be back in that lineup. I presume that we're going to get Harper back, who was hitting some homers in the minors as well, and Bryce Wilson, one of the worst pitchers, taking the bump tonight. I know it's got a team total close to 6, so we got to pay for it, but I think it's fun when you hit those alt lines and just like you got them like -2, -3, -4.5, whatever it is, and just sort of, and you get a blowout. You obviously don't have to hit them all, but when you hit them, it's pretty beautiful, and it's kind of a chalky take, but I do think Philly does not let you down tonight.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, guys, it's been fun. We're out of here. Think it's